The oblique kick. You can almost think of this kick as a stomp, and it is so Jon Jones. I've never seen another fighter throw nearly half as many as he throws. And here's how it works, right? It's pretty unique in that the chamber is tilted outwards. See that outwards angle of his leg there? Really the only kick to use a chamber like that. The foot is turned sideways so it covers a wide surface area, and he's gonna jam his foot into the opponent's knee in a stomping like motion. You can even see here, Rampage is like, fuck, is that even legal? And it is legal. This kick Jon almost exclusively throws with his rear leg. I don't really see any lead leg obliques. What he can do, however, is throw them with both his right and his left legs, making it double trouble on either side. I will say, however, he is better with the right leg. The right leg seems to be doing the majority of the damage. When it comes to stance versus stance, Jon seems to do really a lot of damage when this kick, with both of them have the same leg forward, in this case the left leg. Here is where he really starts to just crush people's knees, and honestly, I am surprised that a knee just hasn't straight up torn inside that octagon yet. Now, this kick also works when it's left forward versus right forward. However, they don't seem to do as much of an impact as these left versus left kind of scenarios. I have an opinion, after watching all the Jon Jones clips, that this kick is better than the traditional round kick to the leg. He throws it just as much, and it has reasons for being better, which include it being straight and being a defensive tool, which we'll look at more in the defensive kick section. For now, let's look at another absolutely brutal attack, the lead low side kick to the knee. This thing is an absolute nuclear bomb waiting to go off if he hits your knee at the exact right place. You know, I was an old school Bruce Lee fan, still am, and he was a mega fan of this kick, so seeing this just makes me happy. Unlike the oblique kick, which is thrown with the rear leg, the lead leg side kick is obviously thrown with the lead leg. This makes it much closer to the opponent. In fact, the lead side kick thrown to the opponent's lead leg can be thought of as the longest weapon versus the closest target. That's why it's such a special kick, let alone the fact that it can just rip a human's knee into tiny little pieces. Jones has two different ways of throwing this kick. The first is a sliding one, where he slides his rear leg up to his front leg, like so. Now he brings his leg into a chambered position, and with his foot, he's just gonna stomp right on the opponent's knee. I mean, oh, it's nasty, it's nasty. Second version is he just lifts up the leg, and with his rear leg, he's now gonna hop in for a hopping side kick. So, the thing that's unique about this kick is that he throws it with the left leg. Most people throw it with their right leg. Why? Because it's a kick that really works better. All lead leg kicks really work better with your dominant side forward. I don't know if Jon Jones is a lefty or if he's figured out how to throw a side kick with his non-dominant leg. Each are unique problems for anyone he faces because it's rare to find side kicks coming from an orthodox stance, especially to the knee. When you thought the side kick problem you were in couldn't get bad enough, Jon Jones also uses a rear leg side kick. This move is so extremely rare to see, and Jon Jones does it pretty consistently. All it is going to be a side kick with the rear leg instead of the lead leg. And watch it here, rear leg comes up, then he throws a side kick. What's unique about this is it looks like a roundhouse kick first. You can see here how Gustafsson throws up a block for the roundhouse, leaving his knee exposed, and that's when Jon kicks the knee. To be successful with this kick, you really have to keep that in mind when you throw that. Always try to make it look like a roundhouse kick first, and it'll probably work better after landing some roundhouse kicks first. So let's talk about roundhouse kicks next. Start this off with a lead leg roundhouse kick, and Jon Jones uses this technique quite a bit. It's another really long attack that Jon Jones can utilize those long legs for. So you can think about the way this attack hits in two different ways. The first is if we both have the same lead leg like you're seeing here right now. When this is happening, it's an inside low kick because it's going to hit inside of the thigh, right? Not too complicated. Jon Jones is actually very good at disrupting an opponent's balance when he throws this kick. He gets them off center for a split second, making them exposed to all kinds of other things. When done right, it also just freaking hurts. It's a really painful kick if someone can really start to use it effectively and land that shin. An inside low kick. Let's take a look at an outside low kick. An outside low kick happens when we have opposite lead legs forward. So right leg versus left leg in this situation. That's when it hits the outside of the opponent's leg. And this one's interesting too in that it can hit the calf much more easily. So you can do damage to both the thigh, as you're seeing here, and to the calf. A very effective kick also for getting the opponent off balance, using this technique to set up possibly another strike or interrupt the opponent as they come in, which we'll be talking about later. So make sure that you stay tuned for that part. That part's cool. So I feel like any good striker, Jon Jones has a solid rear roundhouse kick. This is the kick you just gotta have if you're striking. You gotta be able to hammer someone's thigh with your rear leg roundhouse kick. So with this kick, when we both have the same leg forward, it is gonna be an outside roundhouse kick, as you can see here, landing outside the thigh. And this is the most common low kick thrown in like Muay Thai or MMA. Everyone has to know this kick. Everyone has to be good with this kick because you can really crush somebody's thigh when using this kick. And Jon Jones is fantastic at getting shin placement on his kicks. Watch this here as it comes up. Look at the shin placement there. Just check this out, right? He gets so deep, his shin, he curls his foot around the opponent. That's how deep his shin gets on the thigh. Those hurt so very badly. That's the outside leg kick. Let's talk about the inside rear leg kick, which happens when they have opposite lead legs in the front, as you're seeing here. Jones also has tremendous shin placement on this technique as well. This is something that makes it very unique for Jon Jones. Usually people get very good at hitting the rear low kick. It is rare that you see someone land as many inside low kicks as you're seeing here. It's easier to do it with the outside than it is with the inside. But Jon has landed just about as many inside low kicks with the rear leg as he has outside low kicks with the rear legs. A pretty rare thing. Let's talk about a rear body roundhouse kick next. Unlike the other techniques I've been showing, which really work when the person has lead leg forward or opposite lead leg of you forward, this really only works when you both have opposite legs forward. The reason being is because with opposite legs forward, this leaves the opponent's stomach like very open. In this kind of situation, southpaw versus orthodox, this kick becomes huge. You hear Dominic Cruz talking about it all the time in his commentary. Whoever can dominate this kick really has a significant advantage in the striking battle. And it's a very powerful kick that, if landed correctly, could really just turn the person off. Drop him completely. Doesn't happen for Jones, though. He does, however, drop a person completely. He drops Vitor Belfort here with the lead side kick to the body, which is also an extremely useful technique and an extremely powerful technique. So watch this. He throws the boom side kick to the body, and Vitor just takes a seat. This is another kick that is generated by sliding the back leg up to the front leg, as you're about to see, and then tilting your body back as a counterbalance as you throw that kick out. And in this particular situation, Jon threw it so hard that Vitor literally was just like, dude, I cannot stand on my feet anymore. This is another one. If you were into like Bruce Lee or traditional martial arts, then you're just a big fan of this kick. It comes with the territory. And I don't really know why more people don't use it. I don't see it super often. In the old days, it was basically like as common as the jab, but in MMA, it hasn't really become that. I'll say this though, it's definitely being used more now than it was like 5 to 10 years ago. Massive increase in this kick. Okay, so the rear high roundhouse kick is a kick that Jon Jones has thrown more than probably any other fighter in the UFC. It's like shocking how many times he's actually thrown this kick in highest level competition and landed it. Here's the most significant one of that is when he bobbled Daniel Cormier there. And, you know, Jon Jones is super freaking dangerous, and he's, like I said, the greatest non-armed combatant of all times. But that was the first time I really saw a strike do significant enough damage to really hurt someone to the fact that they almost got knocked out. Which is crazy, because the amount of times that Jon has actually landed this kick is like off the charts. You wouldn't even believe it until you start really like doing what I did, getting all of them, really watching every single Jon Jones fight, and then getting the clips of this kick being landed. You wouldn't even believe how many times he's thrown it, or even like right there where he just hit him right upside the head. A lot of the times when I see Jon land this kick, I'm just thinking, how in the fuck is that guy standing up still? So a really interesting thing about this kick is that he really almost exclusively throws it with his left leg. I've seen him throw it with his right leg, but he throws it with his left leg so much more. That means that he's going to throw it from a southpaw stance, so it's from the opposite stance that he's throwing the oblique kick and the lead leg side kick from. It's really starting to make me think maybe he's a lefty, but the fact that he's so good with the rear leg oblique kick implies that he might be a righty. The thing that allows Jon to get away with throwing this many head kicks is that he throws like infinity leg kicks at you. When you're worried about the low kick, you start to forget about the high kick. When you're worried about your knee literally being ripped apart to shreds, that's when you start to become more open to these high kicks. And they're exceptionally dangerous, especially when you're tall and as powerful as Jon Jones. Why it's not knocking more people out, I have no idea, because he hits flush extremely often. Yeah, people block it, but my God, when he hits, he puts the whole shin across your face. And at some point, I don't really care if you blocked the kick. Even if you managed to get your hand up to block that thing, some of that definitely got through. People seem to think blocks just nullify all damage. They don't. A lot of times, a lot of that force still comes right through your guard, and it is uncomfortable even when you block. It could break your arms too. Very likely it could break your arms. So, Jon Jones and the high kick, you gotta be careful of that thing, man. One thing I love about Jon Jones is he has what I call a fully integrated spinning back kick. What do I mean by that? I mean that he throws the spinning back kick so often, it's not even like a weird, crazy, unorthodox thing he's doing. It's just part of his game. I feel like when many people throw the spinning back kick, they think about throwing it maybe once or twice throughout maybe their career at some kind of Hail Mary or whatever, but it's not like that. It's actually a kick you can use very often when your opponent starts circling around you. Watch this. Often to get away from the left round kick, people will start circling away from Jon's power side there, so towards his right. With the spin, however, you cut off that way. Your leg gets there first, and you're able to hit the opponent as they circle away from you. So watch, Gustafsson's going to start moving to Jones's right here, and boom, he gets cut off by the spinning back kick. That's a great setup for it. Here we can see it again. Look as Anthony Smith moves. Oh, he gets caught dead on. And here it is again. Moves, gets hit, and one more. There we go. You can also just go for it too. It doesn't have to necessarily be something that needs a setup. You can just go right in with your spinning back kick, and there's two ways to do that. The first being you throw it with the foot that you have forward already. So in this case, the right foot's forward. Jon Jones throws a spinning back kick with the right foot forward. Here's another example. Jon has the right foot forward, throws the kick with the right foot forward. The second way to do it is you step with your rear leg first, so that your rear leg becomes your front leg, and then you throw a spinning back kick. So watch this. Watch this leg here, this rear leg. If you pay attention to it, he's going to take a big step forward like at first, like so. Then he's going to throw that spinning back kick. The idea here being that if you step into it first, it's more powerful but slower, and just going for it is quicker, yet a little less powerful. So pick your poison. Gotta talk about a thing pretty unique to Jon Jones. These combinations of kicks that have a little pause in between the kicks. I've never quite seen someone do the timing like this. He throws a kick, waits a second, throws another kick. He kind of goads you into this belief that the combination is over. He has a pretty sizable gap between the first kick, as you can see there, then the second kick. Now you might be asking, Tommy, is that even considered a combo anymore? Well, for the sake of this video, yes, because he does it so often, we're gonna say this is a type of combination. There's different techniques that he utilizes too when it comes to kicking combinations. The first one we're going to talk about being the sidekick finish, and here's how I see Jon Jones setting this one up. First way is going to come off of Jon Jones throwing some type of left rear kick, then following in the sidekick after that. Here's how it works. He starts with his left leg in the rear, then he throws a kick that backs up the opponent. When he's done with the kick, the left leg has become the lead, perfectly lining it up for that low side kick to the knee. You can see him do it here. Watch, his right leg is in the lead. He throws a back kick. Now his left leg has become the lead. Now he's lined up for that low side kick to the leg with the left. Here again, right leg is in the lead. He's going to throw a back kick. He lands with the left leg forward. Now the opponent doesn't quite realize the stance is switched and they're vulnerable to a low kick. So watch, right leg, throws it up with the snap kick, lands with the left leg in the lead. Now he's available for that left low side kick. Another way we can think of using this technique of ending with the side kick is getting the opponent so concerned about high kicks that they actually forget about low side kicks. You're so worried about your head, watch here, one head kick, two head kicks, that you forget to defend your knees. Back kick and low down with the side kick. By constantly changing up the level, you make it very confusing and scary for your opponent. Finishing with the oblique kick is another way that Jon Jones is going to end his combinations. And very similar to the side kick we just talked about, he likes to get your arms up high with some high kicks first before going to the low kick. So he gets you distracted with the body or head, making you forget about the danger that your knee is in. As you can see there, he went to go block a body shot. I think this kick is especially good as the last technique in your combination because it stops forward pressure, as you're seeing there. By stretching out that leg and blocking with a front block onto your opponent's knee, it's really hard for them to, say, charge at you after you've missed or something. This is a great kick to finish on. A back kick finish is when Jon Jones throws a technique that makes his opponent circle to his right, like so, and then lines him up perfectly to go right for the spinning back kick. That one didn't really hit well, but watch this one. Kick, makes him circle over to the right, and boom, nails him with that spinning back kick. So it's not just something he does when he's waiting for you to spin, he'll set you up as well. Another technique I want to talk about is this idea of a double kick. This is when he just quickly repeats the same kick that he just threw over again. It's very tricky because people usually don't think the same kick is coming twice in a row for whatever reason. Okay, so we've talked about how Jon uses his kick for offense. Let's talk about how his kicks actually form a kind of magical kick force field that is very difficult to penetrate for his opponents. As it turns out, in my opinion, Jon's number one offense is his kicks, but turns out his number one defense is his kicks as well. This is because by using the straight kicks like the side kick and oblique kick, he's able to stop the forward motion of the opponent as they try to come into him. By doing this, he really helps protect himself from straight blitz attacks like crosses, big wind-up hooks, smaller opponents coming in. This kick jams up that forward momentum and often gives Jon Jones just enough room, watch, to just slip away from big shots by interrupting their forward momentum first. The oblique kick and side kick are the preferred weapons for this because being in a straight line, they tend to stop the counter right by buckling the knee. When you buckle a knee, you actually take away the opponent's main weapon against a good low kicker, which is that counter right. But with the oblique kick, they won't be able to reach you, or the side kick, either one. This nullifies that forward movement. Now, one thing about John, however, is that he's so good at kicks in general, he's able to nullify your forward movement with round kicks as well, by knocking your leg over to the side as you try to come in. So watch, Gustafsson tries to move in, but John kicks the leg out to the side, causing Gustafsson to trip and not be able to commit fully the way he wants to in order to hit John, or the way he needs to. Here, he kicks and goes right into some takedown defense. This ability to interrupt the opponent trying to attack by using his kicks is the best I've ever seen, and one of the secrets to being as good as Jon Jones. So you want to know if you can learn martial arts at home? The answer is yes. Like anything, to be great at it, you have to do your homework. That's why I created Knights MMA during my time at Harvard University. It's made to give you the best study materials possible so you can do the best homework as possible. Use the interactive elements like drop-down menus, and you can hover over things to learn more in depth, forcing you to interact with the material, making you learn on a deeper level. If you want to make sure you're doing things right, you can pass in a video assessment of yourself where an expert martial artist is going to grade you on your form. And if you pass, your character levels up. You get characters in this. I did this to make it fun, make it fun to learn martial arts at home. The more points you get, the more you advance through a character ranking system. And the ultimate in this character ranking system is, of course, the Grand Master Knight. So if you want to start your journey into martial arts at home, check out the link in the description of this video.